Well, if you don't know yet, I'm Ricky,
I'm Jake.
and you're listening to 20 Somethings Doing Nothing.
I feel like it's been so long since we recorded. I'm so happy right now.
Well, yeah, because we had to record the one that was last week way ahead of time because I was road tripping with Carla Marie and Anthony.
So it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You just drove across the country.
Yes.
Casual. Now where are you in the world?
I'm in Seattle. I'm at Carla Marie's house right now. If you don't know who Carla Marie and Anthony are, they are two radio hosts. They started off at Elvis, and then they got their own show in Seattle, and then they just lost their jobs a week after I lost my job. So they created this thing, the Fun Employment Tour, where they made all these stops across the country on their way to New Jersey to see their families. And then me being me and having nothing else going on was like, hey, can I just get in the car with you guys on the way back to Seattle? And they said yes.
And now you're in Seattle.
And now I'm in Seattle. I just traveled across the country.
This is the greatest thing in the world.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that eventually. But first, we need to talk
Eventually.
about this weird ass random email that we got to our 20 somethings doing nothing email account.
We could be sponsored right now, Ricky.
Okay, but like not really. I guess
Okay.
yes, it's still a spot. Is it a sponsorship because you're not making any money?
Yes. I don't know.
Or is that just
Let me
doing a
read
favor
you-
for someone?
I think it's doing a favor in exchange for some free things.
But is it even anything that's like it's something cool?
Is it worth our while? That's a different story. But are they offering us free things? Yes.
Okay, solid point. Okay, read the
So-
email.
We get an email that says, "Hi there. I hope all is well. First of all, if you're reaching out to somebody, use their names,
Okay.
right?
Not even that. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Nothing is well right now. No one is well. Everything is fucked. Don't even bother with the pleasantries. Just be like, hey,
I hope
everything is shit, but I have an opportunity for you.
Hey, I recognize that your life probably sucks right now, but I'm here to make it better." That's
then
so
what
true.
happens
What do you mean?
next?
I hope all is well.
Yeah, nothing's
Okay.
well.
I'm reaching out on behalf of my client. I guess we could say the client, Paramount Home Entertainment, to promote the digital release of Spontaneous,
Okay, so
a
at
film
this
based
point,
on.
wait.
It's a film based on a hit novel.
Okay, but before we even get to that point, I read like Paramount, blah, 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 a film. I was like, oh, this might really be a really cool opportunity. And I got so
Yeah.
excited. And then I kept reading.
Same. Well, yeah, because you texted me, you said, "Hey, did you see that email we got?" And I was like, "Oh, we got an email." When students in high school inexplicitly start to explode. I should have just deleted the email at that point. Seniors Mara and Dylan struggle to survive in a world where each moment may be their last. As an unexpected romance blossoms between them, of course, they soon discover that when tomorrow is no longer promised, they can start finally living for today. Okay, it gets better. Well, that's the synopsis, right?
So I read the
So then they
synopsis
said-
and I started instantly laughing out loud because I was like, what the fuck even is this?
It's called Spontaneous.
I'm hoping. Okay, so my thought was like that it would be one of these really funny, like parody type movies, but I really don't know. Continue with the email though.
That's true. We don't know if it's a...
It could end up being a really funny, good movie if they're not actually being serious.
I wonder if there's a trailer for it that we have to watch. All right, anyway, said, "We'd love if we could work with you to run a giveaway."
Which sounds amazing.
The-
I'm like all in at this point.
Basically, they
Despite how
want
weird the synopsis sounded.
they want us to talk about them for 2 weeks. In exchange, are you ready for this?
I'm so
In
ready.
exchange for 5 digital copies of the film to give away to our listeners. Whoops. So, if you would like to talk about this movie and promote it on social media, we will give you 5 digital copies absolutely free.
Of a movie that sounds absolutely absurd. It sounds ridiculous. And also, why would you ever want 5 copies? Like, yeah, I get it's to like give away to people, but like, what if you can't give it away? What if nobody wants it? Then you have 5 copies of this weird random movie about people just blowing up out of nowhere.
So to the person who reached out to us, Kat, thank you very much. We would love to work with you in the future. Maybe this is just not the right opportunity for us at the moment?
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh,
the
we
right
never
opportunity.
responded. We have to do that.
Yeah, I guess we should just politely decline the offer.
Well, because I mean, I'm trying to do some things with movies in the future.
Are you? You've never discussed this with me.
I mean, you and I.
Oh, you want us to be in movies?
No, but that's a good idea.
Oh, wait, then what do you?
I just mean if they want to pay us to do things, then sure.
Oh, of course, I'll do anything if it's paid. Well, wait, not anything, but
Wait.
almost everything.
Okay, so somebody commented on the Instagram post about the foot one, and somebody said what was the comment? It doesn't matter. They said if anybody has any foot
Yes.
pictures, DM me.
Yes,
And
he
I
said
said-
babies with cute feet DM ASAP or
Yeah.
something like that.
And I said we'll send for cash, and then we got a DM from this dude that said, "Hey,
Okay, so we obviously need to send our feet to this man.
how much money do you think we can get out of him?"
Anthony got $200 out of someone,
Whoa.
and he's got mail. feet.
When?
I don't remember when, but we were talking about it on the road trip. He's actually sold his feet.
Do you think there's a market for men that have feet that could look like women's feet? Because that's me.
Wait a minute. Your feet look like female feet?
No, I'm like when I posted that picture of me at the cabin in the Catskills, people were like, "Oh, you have such womanly legs."
Okay, legs, not feet. You still have man feet. Man feet look so different than women's feet.
That is very true. I do have hairy toes. Hairy toes are disgusting. Anyway. So if anybody wants to see this movie, we're giving them free press. It's called Spontaneous. I'm probably going to watch it just because
We have to at this point.
now we have to.
Just
People
to
start
see what it's
exploding
about.
and then they fall in love.
I hope not. I hope it's like, wait, they did say that they fall in love, right? And they live for
Yes.
now.
Yes.
Well,
They start to realize that not every day is given. And I'm like, have you not lived through coronavirus?
it was obviously made before coronavirus. Duh.
So funny.
Weirder scene
So-
ever, though.
I kind of want to say yes. I feel like we should do this.
We just shit on it for the last, I don't even know how long, 10 minutes? And now you want to
But
do
they're going to send us stuff to, oh, I got to sneeze.
I hate sneezing.
Wait, hold on.
Oh my God, bless
Oh.
you.
Thank you. I'm not done.
You're not done sneezing?
Nope. I got one more.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't sneeze. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. No.
Watermelon, 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 watermelon. Okay, I'm good.
Watermelon?
Nope. One more.
Jesus fucking
They start to get
Christ.
painful after the second one.
I hate sneezing. Are you
Same.
well
Who
now?
invented that? I am well. I hope this email finds you well.
We're not doing
Listen.
this, though. We're going to email her back and we're going to say thanks so much for thinking of us, but we're not doing this.
I want to say we're not interested, but can you send us what you would want us to say? Because I just am so curious as to what they would want us to read on the podcast.
I'm not that curious. I think it's, if anything, we should reply and be like, listen, one of us is unemployed, and unless you plan to pay us, we cannot do this at this time.
Great. That's a much better plan.
Even if they offered like $100, I'd be like, oh, fuck yeah.
$100.
something.
Just give me like a $10 Seamless gift card or something.
Ah, yes, seamless. That makes sense for you. Do you ever cook for yourself anymore?
Well, no.
Didn't think so.
But I don't spend a ton of money on takeout. What I do
You
is I'll
just
just
not
buy. No. I'll buy things that are really easy to make. Right. So like today for dinner, right before this, I was like, let me scarf this down. It was a frozen burrito from Trader Joe's. So I just spend money on groceries that are easy to make and probably not that delicious.
Okay. Sounds like you're living a very exciting life right now, Jakeford.
Well, I don't really eat much during the day because I work all day and then I find myself not taking breaks even though I should, or I'll just take a ton of little breaks and eat like, this is on my desk right now, a bunch of pretzels or what else? I don't have anything here, but
Wine.
Wine. I have like 18,000 bottles of wine on my desk. We need to ask Carla Marie some questions.
Okay, do you want to ask me any questions about this? Like, you said you wanted to talk
Yeah.
about the road trip, and now you're like, no, I need to talk to Carla Marie.
I do, but I want to get the real opinion.
What do you mean?
Okay, here's questions that I have for
I
you
was
about driving
there.
across the country.
Okay.
Right. Well, okay. Questions I have for Ricky about driving across the country. Number 1, who picked the music?
Mostly Anthony.
Number 2, what's the longest you went driving without taking a break?
Without taking like a pee break or anything, or just like
Like
a
the
break as in
longest
staying?
continuous time.
Okay. Oh, that's hard. I don't think it was that long because we like stopped multiple times to like pee, eat, things like that. I think
Okay.
the longest time was like 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, we like broke it up a lot because either we would stop because we needed to eat, and if we ate, we would try to like actually sit down and eat somewhere so we can get out of the car and not be like stuck inside the whole time. And the way back to Seattle was a lot more relaxed because they wanted to rush to get home to see their families. So their way
Right.
from Seattle to New Jersey was like super rushed. So it was a lot of like fast food and things like that for them. But on the way back, it was like more relaxed.
Okay, number 3, who peed the most?
Carla Marie.
Who peed the least?
Anthony.
Really?
Yeah, I think Anthony peed the least. Because I also would make myself pee every time we would stop. So every time we would stop, when Carla Marie had to pee or Anthony had to pee or whoever had to pee, I would make myself pee because I'm like, if I have to pee in an hour, then I'm going to be the jackass that has to make everybody stop again.
Number 4, right? 4. Did you play any road trip games?
We played one game. It was the worst game ever because Anthony is a horrible fucking person to play any games with because he is a sore loser and a sore winner. So no matter what, he's miserable to be around.
Oh,
We play this game. We play this game where you say a band name. So Fall Out Boy, right? And,
right.
Or no, it's supposed to be alphabetical, I think, or whatever. Okay, so you say Fall Out Boy. It ends in Y. So the next person would have to say a band or artist that starts with Y. And then you keep going, right? So as you keep going, we're sitting there, and if me or Carla Marie, like if there was any point where either of us were thinking about what our answer was going to be because we couldn't think of something right on the fly, he would sit there and be like, I got like 5 answers for this one. I can think of, oh, nope, I'm at 6 now. Yep, I have 6 answers for this. I could answer 6 different ways for this one. And we're like, are you serious? He would sit there and be like, wow, it's taking a long time to get that answer. You sure you're going to get it? Do you just want to pass? Do you want to pass? You want to pass, don't you? I'm like, I want to murder you is what I want to do because you're the worst person to play a game with.
Sounds like I would be a better road trip buddy, just saying. Okay, number 5. How many hotels did you stay in?
We stayed in, good question. We stayed in one in Virginia, one in Charlotte, one in Nashville,
The one with the
Des Moines,
bidet?
Iowa. Yes. Or no, the bidet wasn't Nashville. It was St. Louis.
Gotcha.
That one was a
5.
really nice hotel. So 5, and then we stayed at one in North Dakota. So 6 hotels total.
Did you have any gross experiences?
Okay, so one of the hotels, the sheets definitely weren't the cleanest.
Oh.
The hotel in Nashville had sheets that had stains on them, which is not what you want to see during a pandemic. Yeah.
What was the hotel chain?
I don't know.
Can you shit on them? What does it rhyme with?
Stream.
Stream.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a hotel chain. I think it's just in Nashville, maybe.
Oh,
Or
okay,
no,
okay.
actually, maybe not. I think there's actually one in New York, but I don't know if it's the same, if it's an actual chain or if it's like
What is it?
Dream Hotel, I think is what it's
Oh.
called.
Yeah,
Which I
that's a
think
nice
there's one in
hotel,
New
isn't
York,
it?
right? I don't know though if it's an
Yeah.
actual chain. I don't know if it's different, like a Dream something. I have no idea. But it was a beautiful hotel. It's just that their sheets were a little.
Did you
dirty.
call them and say, come replace my sheets?
No, actually, we didn't. 'Cause it was, okay, so it was the sheet that was in between the other 2 sheets.
Other 2 sheets? What
So
are you
there's-
talking about?
There's like, okay, so pause. You know how you have obviously the fitted sheet that goes around the mattress, and then you
Yes.
have the top sheet, and then you
Yes.
have like a duvet
The
type
duvet.
thing, and then there's like another blanket sometimes. It was like the
Yes.
middle part, so we just didn't use it, type of thing. Like you just shove it to the
So it was the top sheet.
yeah, it was the top sheet, like the middle one that you just don't need.
That's
so you just like get
that's
rid of it.
gross. That's so gross. I would have called and said, "Please come and replace these sheets."
I had a feeling that if they replaced them, that they would have been just as dirty or dirtier.
So you were more afraid of what was going to happen.
Totally.
I don't
So
blame you.
just
Yeah.
dealt with it. I'm like, could be worse. Let's just
Did you
keep it rolling.
have any weird gross experiences not in a hotel? Like, did you encounter anyone that you were like, "This is nasty," in a restaurant or
So
maybe just in general?
we were in a restaurant when we were in Charlotte, I believe it was, that nobody wears masks.
Oh, and you were eating inside?
We were eating inside. The waitress wasn't wearing a mask. The sushi chef wasn't wearing masks. This guy started coughing behind us. We were like,
No.
this is where it happens. This is what's yep. Okay, great. And it was one of those things where she's not wearing a mask, so you're nervous, but you don't know if you should say anything or do anything about it, because at that point, everything was closed. It was the only place that was open. We were starving because we hadn't eaten in like 5 or 6 hours at this point. We just wanted to eat and go to bed. So we just dealt with
Yeah.
it and ate and went to bed and hope for the best.
When are you coming back here?
I don't know yet.
You just have no plan?
I have zero plans. Just kind of rolling with it.
Nice.
Carla Marie said, you can stay as long as you want, and she's going to regret that decision.
Well, I'm going to ask her, does she mean that? Did you have any serious heart-to-heart moment?
With Carla Marie and Anthony?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We had a lot of conversations that were deep combos, especially because when you think about it, I just lost my job. They just lost their jobs. We're both in the same industry. So it was a lot of conversations about what we want to do next,
Right.
what our experiences were previously, things like that, of soul searching, basically. We were talking each other through our venting and soul searching kind of scenarios. What do we want to do next? I really like this.
That's
or I really
nice.
like that. Is this a good step? Or do I want to keep doing radio? Do I not? I have no freaking clue. It's just trying to figure, because that's a lot of what this was for me, was getting away, trying to really seriously have conversations with people that I know and trust that are also within the same industry as me, because it's hard working in radio. A lot of people don't get it.
Right.
I can't talk to just anybody about it because they don't understand how it works. It's a very weird, strange industry to try and explain to somebody. So to have that time to talk to people who obviously work in the same industry and are figuring it out themselves too, what their next steps are going to be, it was kind of nice to know that I'm not crazy. I'm not alone in the sense of not knowing what I want to do next and feeling kind of lost right now, because the industry is a mess at this moment. An absolute mess with the pandemic and everything, which a lot of industries are, but we're getting hit hard, so is now the time for me to move into something else because I'm kind of being pushed that way? Or do I fight for staying in radio kind of thing? So there's a lot of heart-to-hearts. And we had a lot of conversations about politics, a lot of stupid conversations like rocks, paper, scissors. Or
Oh,
rock, paper,
I saw
scissors.
that.
Stupid conversations like that, or which Twizzler is the best Twizzler? Is it pull and peel or the regular ones?
I feel like those are the heart-to-hearts are awesome, and I'm sure you guys bonded a lot doing this. But those little tiny fun stupid conversations is what gets you through the crazy amount of driving.
Oh yes, 100%. It really wasn't that bad though. Anthony drove the entire time.
What? He drove the whole way?
He drove the entire time. Neither of us drove. He drove the whole time, and he was happy to do it. It made no sense to me.
Wow.
Because I start to go crazy after a while. I hate driving. If I didn't need to drive, I would never drive. One of the reasons why I
Oh.
want to be rich is to pay someone else to drive for me.
Oh, I would be your driver. I love driving.
I hate it, but he likes it. He enjoys it. So he was like, I don't care. I'll drive for 11 hours, because through Montana is 11 or 12 hours. And he kept saying,
Whoa.
I'll just go straight through. And we were like, you're insane. We need to stop at some point for you to
You're like, you need to sleep.
Yeah, you gotta sleep. You're gonna kill us all, you maniac. He got 2 speeding tickets.
Yeah, I saw he got pulled
Yeah.
over twice.
And I
How
think
fast
he
was
got
he
a parking
going?
ticket at one point too.
How fast was he going?
The first one, he was doing, I think it was 80 in like a 55 or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
And what?
Yeah, if you're on a highway, you go 80, whatever.
That is like 30 miles over the speed limit. 25 miles
Yeah,
over the speed
okay. I
limit.
guess if it's 55, I would go 70, but like,
You're insane. And then he got pulled over because he was doing 49 and a 25 in a state park.
oh, that's bad.
We were in the state park, and I had no idea that they actually had officers in the state park that sit there and they wait for you to speed. But that's the thing. Apparently.
What?
Yeah. Apparently that's the thing for anyone that's
I
going to
didn't
state
know
parks or national
There's
parks.
in a national park.
Yeah, it was a national park. I said state park.
You know,
My bad.
I've never been to a national park.
Me neither until this trip.
Yeah, you went to the Grand Canyon. Is
Yeah,
that not a
but
national park?
I think it is, but I went to like a reservation. So I don't know if that's still a national park technically.
Is the Grand Canyon a national park?
You look so confused. Google it.
Is the Grand Canyon a national park? So other people have Googled this, so we're not alone.
Okay, good.
Grand Canyon National Park.
So is the whole Grand Canyon a national park?
I don't know. I've never been to a national park.
Or is it a
I've been on
section of
Google.
it?
I have no idea. You know who would know this? Carla Murray.
She probably would, yeah. She wants to be a park ranger.
Is she coming? Is she joining us right now or no?
I have to call her up. She's on the phone with her mom. She's cooking us dinner. She's being a mom right now. She has ironed my shirts. She
What?
has got me coffee every single morning while on this road trip. And tonight she's making me dinner. She's like a legitimate mom. She went food shopping before and texted me and was like, "What would you like from the grocery store?"
What is she cooking?
I have no clue. Hopefully something good. I'll let you know though.
Oh, you're
Imagine
just like
it's-
make whatever you want.
Yeah. I don't care. I'm not a picky eater.
Yeah, I
But
guess
imagine
that's
it's
true.
like really terrible.
Is she a good cook?
I have no idea. I'll let you know.
You'll
Actually,
find
we
out.
did
Oh,
that
nice
tonight.
women in radio shirt.
Heck yeah. Gotta represent, you know? No,
Yeah.
I'm not in radio anymore.
Did you have a moment on the road trip where you were like, I have to shit so bad?
Oh my God, yes,
We
actually.
need to pull over?
Yes, actually. Like the last leg of it, because I don't know what it was, but it was either the French onion soup that I ate or the taco salad that I was like, I'm going to shit myself if we do not pull over right now. And I had to pee.
Did you make
because
it?
I had like a 16-ounce beer too. So I was like, I both literally need to pee a waterfall and I have to shit my brains out.
You're telling me you drank a beer knowing that you were getting back on the road for a long drive?
Yeah, because Color Marie makes him stop every 2 hours anyway. So no matter what,
Oh, okay.
I'd be fine. I wasn't.
Ah, so good. You could just keep the drinking going.
I think that was the only time that I actually asked to pull over because I needed to shit and pee. People
The
probably
one
like,
time, the whole way
disgusting.
across the country, that's pretty great.
Yeah, it's really not that bad. I make a point to poop in the morning,
Yeah.
and then I'm typically good.
Was
until
this the
night.
morning?
No, this is like night. But like I
Oh,
make
so this
myself
was
poop in
emergency
the
poop.
morning. Yes, it was an emergency poop in the middle. So I poop in the morning,
Yeah.
and then by the time we get to like the hotel at night, I'm ready to poop again. So I poop again, and then I'm fine. But this was like, nope, gotta poop right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of not happy I asked that question, but it was great. I'm glad you told me that. So
That's your own damn fault. I do not regret my answer. I'm an honest person, and you know that.
yeah.
Any other questions for me, Jake Bird?
No.
I figured you'd ask like what my favorite place was, if we met anybody cool.
No, you told me you didn't even go anywhere. You were like, we stop somewhere and then we keep moving, and then we stop somewhere and we keep moving.
Yeah, we really
Did you
didn't
actually
get
see anything?
to stay places for that long. Yes, we got to see some things, but it wasn't like we explored really because it was a schedule.
Lame.
There was a legit schedule for every stop. We had a stream that we did, and then we had a meetup afterwards where they gets to like meet their fans and stuff. Some of whom are our fans too.
That's so fun. Who, did you
Yeah.
meet anyone fun?
Yes, I met a lot of fun people. I actually met. Wait, I'm going to tell you a story, but I think Carla Marie wants to see your face when I tell you this story.
Okay.
So I'm going to wait to tell you until she comes up here. But all the places were really cool. It was amazing to see so many different areas of the country that I've never been to. So many places.
Yeah.
Because when would you ever go to the middle of Iowa or drive
Literally
through
never.
Montana or anything like that. Montana's gorgeous, by the way. I would move to Montana in 3 seconds.
How much time did you spend in Montana?
Not even that much time, like 2 hours actually in Bozeman, but I would move to Bozeman. It's so fucking nice.
What?
And that's during a time where there's a lot of smoke and everything. So you really can't even see just how beautiful everything is. And it was still gorgeous.
Yeah, did you guys deal with the smoke at all?
Yeah, there was definitely places where you could see smoke. And now that I'm in Washington, there's smoke outside. We can't open the windows.
What?
Yeah, it's so smoky that you literally, if you open the windows, it's like bad for you to breathe in.
Yeah, global warming is not a thing at all.
Oh, yeah, totally not. There's nothing going on.
There's
here.
nothing wrong with this world.
Mm-mm.
Sips water.
Okay, I'm going to call Carla Marie up.
Okay, I need to get a drink anyway, so that's good. Is she coming?
Okay, so she's coming up. Oh, you just
This is
casually
just
grabbed a
the-
beer?
This is just the Constellation podcast, aka only drink Constellation alcohol now.
Okay, so first, before you start asking Carla Marie all of these questions, I wanted you to be here while I told him the story about the listener. Okay, so when we had each place that we went to, we had like meetups and everything, right? So remember how I said some of them listened to us?
Yes.
Okay, so one of our listeners started saying that he would listen to the podcast all the time, right? And he was like, I'm a big fan of all Elvis Duran podcasts, blah, blah, blah. And then he goes, yeah, you know, you guys are really great. That Jake. Yeah. And
he was like, I used to listen to you guys all the time. And then you came back and Jake. Yeah. And like, that was the end of it.
I started literally dying. I was like, oh my God, he hates Jake. Well, it was funny because he was like,
So did he
used to
stop
listen.
listening?
Well, okay. So he said, I used to listen. So I was like, ouch. Okay. And then he said that about you. And I started dying laughing. I just thought it was hilarious. But then he was like, you guys were gone for a year. And I was like, okay. So he is listening now. He started listening again. But like, I didn't think of it at first. I was like, oh, wow, you used to listen. Great. No, you don't listen.
Well, that's why I said.
Your fault.
That's why I said I'm like Diet Coke. Last week we said, what if you were a canned beverage, what would you be? I'm like a Diet Coke. People who hate Diet Coke really hate Diet Coke.
You're right. People who hate Diet Coke really do hate Diet Coke, and you are Diet Coke.
Yep.
And
So I wonder why he hates me
Look
though.
at these headphones. Look at you.
What does he not like about
You
me?
got me like a whole setup. She's been such a good mom this whole time.
Wow, are you using the
Got, like, a whole setup
Rodecaster
for me going
Pro
and everything.
thing?
Oh, wait.
No, she's using an M box.
M-Box? Oh, it's like the red
Now I
thing,
can't hear
right?
him, though.
You can't hear him?
No.
You're better off.
He actually only wants to ask you questions anyway. So
What?
Yeah. He's like,
Okay.
I don't Carla Marie questions.
For anybody that doesn't know, this is Carla Marie. I don't know why you wouldn't know her, but this is Carla Marie.
Hi.
She's Carla Marie. And
Not going that far. I can kind of hear you.
It's quite
She-
the intro.
I interned when she worked at Elvis Duran the Morning Show, and then I worked there when she left. Or no, I worked there when you worked there, and then you left, and then
Mhm.
you got a radio show in somewhere else, and then you got another radio show, and then you got another radio show, and now you're unemployed.
Yeah, this is the best way I've ever heard anyone explain it.
Where did you have radio shows? It wasn't all in Seattle, right? Or it
all in
was?
Seattle. I literally only
Oh,
lived here
really?
for 4.5 years. Yeah, just down the hall from one another, just back and forth.
You've lived there for 4.5 years?
It'll be 5 years in February.
Whoa, time flies.
Yeah, I know. Are you
Excuse
burping?
me. Yeah, because I just drank some beer.
This is unbelievable.
Okay, I have questions for you.
Oh,
First of all, you just did the drive to New Jersey and then back to Seattle.
yes.
In how long of a span of time?
Well, we stayed in New Jersey for like 8 days, but total, I was gone from my house for 25 days.
Whoa.
25 nights, yeah.
That's like a whole month's mortgage.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, I'm paying my mortgage for my cats. That was a problem. That was like my anxiousness of wanting to come back here, but it was still cool.
And they were very happy to have a paid mortgage, I'm sure.
Yeah, they were.
Okay. Number
The
one.
worst interviewer ever. Are you interviewing me? Is there a delay? What is happening? Are you trying to be like awkward and funny?
I'm asking you questions. Number one. Who controlled the music?
Anthony.
Okay.
Anthony
Number
was
2.
very controlling over the radio.
I don't care about your answers. I'm just trying to ask you a question.
Typical interviewer.
What do you mean he was controlling over the radio? Like you would try and change the song and he'd be like, no?
Actually, I would like to say that it was Anthony and Ricky because they made me listen to music that I didn't want to listen to. What? The whole Big Sean album I had to listen to.
I mean, I have to say the driver does get control of the radio,
No,
so
but
that's
they
one
shouldn't
plus.
get control over the radio. Then we had to listen to audiobooks.
You listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
But that's kind of awkward because if nobody else is reading the book, then who the hell wants to sit and listen to that?
We all started one together.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. What was
It's
it?
kind of cool. Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. It was actually really interesting. I will say that. We are way more educated now.
Did you listen to the whole thing?
No, I don't know what's going to happen now. Like, are we going to all just get in the car and drive around Seattle to finish it?
You guys have like a virtual book club now.
Yeah, we can't like just go play it downstairs in my living room because there's just so many other distractions. Like when you're driving, it's like, okay, we're all in the car doing this. But if we go listen to an audiobook right now, it's going to be so weird.
That's why I can't listen to audiobooks because I can't do it unless I'm actively listening and I don't drive.
Yeah, you're weird.
And I don't have the attention span to do it.
You don't.
Okay, number 2. What was the longest period of time you went? What are you giving me that face?
That was question 3. That's why. That's not 2.
Okay, what was the longest period of time you went driving? Like
Ye-
without stopping?
without stopping or like without
Yeah.
sleeping?
Without stopping.
Probably 4 hours.
Oh, Ricky said 2 to 3.
Well, I have to
Mark
keep in
that
mind there
down.
was a whole
Wait a minute.
week that I was in the car without Ricky.
Are you asking
Oh,
questions that you asked me, but seeing who's making shit up? Is that what this is right now?
yes.
You're a dick.
Yeah,
Come on to you.
you have to keep in mind that I was in the car a whole week before Ricky. But
Got
yeah,
you.
I guess for our leg of the trip, Ricky's right. It was probably like 2 to 3 hours, but we did. Was that in my house? That noise?
No, that's my
Oh,
roommate.
I thought it was my cats.
No.
12 and a half hours in the car yesterday. Like, yeah.
Whoa, that's a long time. I don't want to do that. Glad I
was
didn't go with you. Not
Montana?
that I got an invite.
you didn't.
Did you learn anything new about each other?
Yeah. There was actually something I learned about Ricky that I was going to tell you about. Oh, I think it is basically that she is a teenager. Like everyone always like makes fun of me that I act like a child, but no, like Ricky actually is a teenager. And it was solidified today when I went to the grocery store and I said, "Hey Ricky, what do you want from the grocery store?" And she responded with Uncrustables and Pringles. And I was like, first of all, I don't even know the aisle that the Uncrustables are in. Turns out they were in the freezer section, not in the peanut butter and jelly section. And I was like, I actually feel like I have a teenage daughter at home. And now I need to go home and cook dinner.
What are you cooking?
I'm making chicken oreganata, which is lemon chicken. I hope Ricky likes that.
With a side of Uncrustables?
With the side of Uncrustables, yes.
Are you a good cook? I
Oh,
don't know that about you.
I can, but I don't enjoy it. I'm not like
Gotcha.
good like my mom. I can't just whip things up either. I just like I have to follow a recipe, and if I follow it, it works. But I normally don't.
Right.
Mm.
Did you have any heart-to-hearts?
Oh yeah, we had a lot of heart to hearts for sure. Like at least once a day, we had like heart to heart conversations,
Wow.
and most of it was about our careers or
Right.
our old careers. But that's what most of it was about, and like our futures and what we each wanted and what we saw and what, not necessarily what we did wrong, but like talking about the different things that we've learned throughout our career and how we would have done things differently and how we will do things differently. There's a lot of that.
That's nice.
Mhm.
Do you feel like you grew as a person?
Yes, of course.
Do you feel like you found yourself on this road trip?
I wouldn't say I found myself, but it was nice just being in the car and going from place to place. Like, granted, we didn't spend much time anywhere. It's not like we full blown explored every state and every city we were in, but the ones that we did, it's just a way. Like, anytime you visit a new place, it's something that I've learned in the last few years since moving away from home. Anytime you visit a new place, you really do learn something new about yourself. Whether it's the simplest thing of like, oh, turns out I like this kind of food, to, oh, I could live in a new city and I could see a life here, or, oh, I learned that I like traveling on my own, whatever it may be. You always learn something new about yourself when you leave home.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I always say. Like, I learned so much more traveling than I ever did in school. And that's
Yep.
really how I was exposed to like different cultures and different beliefs and everything, because you grow up in one town, right? You grow up with the same people, and you're probably with those same group of people from K to 12. And that's what
Bad
it was like
news.
for me. I was around the same people, right? So without traveling, it's like, how are you supposed to be exposed to other cultures that's not just reading it in a textbook?
And not even like everyone, you think travel and everyone thinks international. I've been now after this trip 39 states, which is
That's wild.
I know. And I've been saying this for a while that there should be some sort of like thing that you graduate high school and you get a year and you have to live in another state before you do anything else. It has to be X amount of miles from where you grew up, because you will learn so much just by visiting your own country and just the different ways that people live in that country. I mean, we saw a lot of open land, and it makes you think like, what do you do at that time?
Right.
Like, what are you doing all day?
Well, you posted something. It was like a farm in North Dakota. It was like 15 acres for what was it, like $250,000?
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like 289. And it was 15 acres. It had a barn. It had a horse stable. Like,
Oh,
I know there is
so
part of you
nice.
that wants to just run away to the middle of nowhere and live there.
and then you try and buy a place in Hoboken, New Jersey, and you get an 800 square foot studio for $500,000.
It's gross. It's gross.
It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
So, last question. Ricky said that you told her she could stay as long as she wants.
I did say that she could stay as long as she wants, but like,
Do you really mean that?
it depends. It depends how long she wants.
So, like, what's your maximum of time that she's allowed to stay there?
I think I'm flying to New Jersey at the end of next week, actually, for my niece's baby shower. So, like, I would assume maybe by then, unless she's going to stay here when I'm not here.
Well, you should make her stay there and pay your mortgage.
I could make her pay my mortgage, watch my cats, earn her keep.
And watch the cats. Exactly. What are you trying to kick her out? This is a great idea.
I know. I told her she might be able to live here for a few months if I have to travel and stuff.
Overall, how was your trip?
It was awesome. It was a really good time. We laughed a lot. We made fun of Anthony a lot. It was a great time.
How much did you spend in gas?
I haven't added any of it up yet. So Anthony pays for all the gas. I pay for all the hotel rooms, and then we like divide and conquer at the end. Like I'll add, and food too. We kind of go back and forth with. And now I'll go add up who. This way I'm not like sifting through receipts and trying to figure out who paid what. And I'll add it all up, and then we'll divide and figure it out.
Well, when you figure it out, let me know, because I'm
Okay.
very curious as to how much it costs in gas to do that.
It's a couple hundred,
Yeah, I would guess at least a couple hundred.
at least 500.
Cool. Well, I don't really have anything else to talk to you about.
You just said I really don't have anything else to talk to you about. Oh man, I'm trying to think, you guys. There was something else. I know this is what everyone tunes into your podcast. Oh, did you tell him? I did hear someone say, I listened to your podcast, 20 things doing nothing. And I was like, I actually kind of like that idea. I'm going to start it. 20 things.
20 things. I love it.
Yeah, so that's the new
We just need
podcast.
more things.
All right, if I think of what this thing is that I was going to mention about Ricky, I'm going to come barge into this podcast.
Okay, you let us know. Thanks for joining us on 20 Things Doing Nothing.
You're welcome. Bye, baby Jake. Love you.
I hate you.
After a while, I was like, he's asking her the exact same questions he asked me. He wants to see if I lied about anything. That son of a bitch.
I didn't ask her who peed the most because I know it was her.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
hilarious.
while you were gone, or you're still gone,
Yeah.
while you are gone, what's your mom doing to your car?
Oh my gosh, Jake. I think she's destroying my car currently. So my mom's lease was up on her car and she
Yeah.
hasn't gotten a new one yet because it's at that point right now where they start to come out with like next year's cars. So
Yep.
she wanted to wait until next year's cars came out before renewing a lease or anything. And I was like, okay, totally makes sense. And she works with my stepdad. So they go into work together all the time. So it's not a big deal. So when I said I was going to be away for a while, she was like, is there any way that I could borrow your car? Which okay, yeah, obviously, no problem. You're my mom. You've let me borrow your car forever. You taught me how to
Right.
drive. Like you birthed me.
You birthed me.
So
You
so
pushed
many
me out of your vagina.
the last thing I could do is like at least I could let you use my car while I'm gone. So I said no problem. She went and got my car, and out of nowhere while I'm on the trip, I get this picture from my mom of my dashboard with all of these lights on and goes, "Does this ever happen to you?" I was like, "Excuse me, Mom?
You're like,
No. That has
no?
never happened to me. What are you doing to my car?" I was like, the one is the brake light. Like, you have to press the brake before you can start the car. So I was like, that one makes sense. What are the other 4 fucking lights that are on right now? Like, what did you do to my car? There were 4 other lights that were on. So I was like panicking because I'm like, how has this happened already? No answer. So for
Well-
all I know, she could have completely destroyed my car by now.
Hopefully, when you go back, you still have a car.
She hasn't said anything like to me yet about it at all. And I haven't said anything to her because I almost don't want to know if she's completely destroyed my car already. I'll deal with it when I get home.
Is she the type of person that will just let it sit and wait until you get back, or will she fix it without you knowing?
She would fix it without me knowing. Because she
That's
wouldn't
probably
want
why you
me-
haven't heard then.
Yeah, she wouldn't want me to panic or know anything about the fact that she's destroyed
Aw.
my brand new car that I just bought in January.
That's so nice.
And by brand new, I mean very much used, but brand new to me.
What
That
year
I
is
just
it?
got. 2016.
Okay, can we talk about this for a second? I don't want to get too into this because we could do an entire episode on this.
Hmm.
But I feel like this is very 20-somethings.
Okay.
I'm buying a car.
Strange.
I've been saying I'm going to buy a car for the last 5 years.
Literally since I've known you.
Literally, how many times have I told you I want to get a car?
Our whole friendship has been, I'm going to buy a car this week. I'm going to buy a car now. Now it's time for me to buy a car. You know what I really need to do? Buy a freaking car. And then you never bought one. You never end up
Yeah.
buying a car.
I know. I texted you and I said, I'm buying a car. And you said, yeah, okay.
Saying it for so long.
But I'm finally doing it because I'm tired of taking public transportation during a pandemic because there's so many people that don't wear masks. And I'm like, it's just not worth the risk. And I've wanted a car for so long. And the fact that I haven't bought one has allowed me to actually save some money so that I can get one. And now I'm finally doing it.
Okay, but how are you buying a
But-
car?
But that's the big thing. First
This
of all,
killed
buying a
me.
car sucks. So I've never had a car payment or anything. I've never had to deal with car insurance. I've never had to deal with the dealer. I've never had to deal with anything, right?
Wait,
Most
really?
people, yeah, I've never had a car.
Wait.
I had,
You didn't have a car in high school or anything?
well, I had my brother's hand-me-down car that was like old and used and had already paid off.
Oh, and then you didn't
So
pay
there
your
was-
car insurance?
No, I didn't pay my car insurance.
What kind of life have you been? What? I want your parents.
Yeah, it was nice.
Mine are fucked up.
So-
Damn. You're like,
Yeah, it was
"Ugh."
nice. It was nice. So anyway, I've never had to deal with any of that, right? I sound so fucking spoiled right now, but like I was a little spoiled.
No, there's definitely been times where my parents have paid for my car insurance and things.
Yeah.
Like when I was in college, they paid for it because I couldn't.
Yeah. I mean, now I pay for everything. I'm not that spoiled now. I
So
pay
proud
for
of you.
everything myself. Yeah, I know. It's like I'm a normal fucking human again. So anyway, like I've never, first of all, buying a car, it's like, how do you do it? Am I supposed to lease a car? Am I supposed to buy a car? Am I supposed to buy a new car? Am I supposed to buy a used car? And then I went on TikTok. Funny enough, I learned a shitload on TikTok.
Interesting.
And I'm like, well, I found a car on Carvana and I sent you the link and I was like, I have this car reserved. I paid like $100 it was like $100 refundable deposit to hold this car. And I texted you it when you said you're not buying a car. And I said, here, look at this. And you said, you might want to look at the reviews for Carvana or Carvana, however the fuck you say it. And I was like, why? And you said when you were looking for a car, you found a bunch of shit reviews. So I looked it online and you
felt-
were right.
So bad because you were like, my brother approved and he never approves of anything. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry to burst your bubble, Jake. You might want to look into this.
The reviews are terrible.
Yeah, it's not a good
So-
company.
That car that I reserved is available now. Actually, today I just got an email about it. But I think I'm gonna lease a car.
Okay, so this is the funniest part though of this entire conversation. You didn't include this part. You then said to me, "Where do you buy a car then?" And I was like, "The
Oh.
dealership, you dumbass!" Like every
I said, where did you buy your car?
I was like the fucking dealership, like a normal human being. What do you mean?
I don't know. You could get it at like a sketchy. You could get it at like a sketchy used car lot, or go to a dealer. So I don't know. I was like, where did you buy your car?
You go to a dealer. That's where you buy a car or lease a car. You
Yeah.
could do either one there.
I think I'm gonna lease.
Okay, why?
Here's my thoughts. So my parents have
talk
always
it out.
been leasers. So they're obviously pushing for a lease, but I was like, well, it probably makes more sense for me to just buy a new car. So I did the math on this car that I want. It's like a 2018 Hyundai Tucson. And the loan was 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
I think whatever, it doesn't matter. And the payment was not low by any means. And so then I'm looking up like what would it be if I leased it? And it's like, whatever, if I put like $2,000 down, then I pay $250 a month, right? So the payment on the lease is a lot lower. So my argument to my parents was, if I'm leasing the car, when I'm done, I'm left with nothing. If I'm
Mhm.
buying the car, when I'm done, I'm left with this car that's worth something. Right? So their argument was like, well, you could have a much nicer car for a lower monthly payment. And then when you're done, instead of being left with nothing, you just do another lease and you get another nice car and still are paying less than you paid before.
Yes. Okay. So I've done both. I've already had
Okay.
4 cars in my lifetime.
Oh, then I'm asking the perfect person.
And I've done both ways. So I will say I have bought 2 cars and I've leased 2 cars. Leasing makes sense for sure to certain people, like people who aren't driving a lot, people who don't care about like if they scratch it or dent it or anything like that, they're fine with paying for it because every little thing that you do to that car, you have to fix before you bring it in. Or you can bring
Right.
it in and they're going to upcharge you up the freaking ass and you're going to get screwed in the end. Also, if you drive a lot, they don't give you a lot of mileage. So what you're looking at for what your monthly payment would be is like 1,000 miles.
The
per
lowest
month.
option.
Yeah.
Right.
And you get like 1,000 miles per month or even less than that sometimes. Sometimes it's like 800 miles a month, which for some people is totally fine and totally doable and like not a big deal. Other people, like if you want to do cross country road trips or if you want to drive to the shore all the time or if you want to go to Massachusetts 3 times a year or whatever it is, whatever it may be that you want to do, that wouldn't make any sense. I will also say that when you lease a car, you have to get different insurance than if you buy a car. So when you lease a car, you have to have it fully insured in New Jersey. So your insurance is going to cost more money than if you buy a car and you do the least amount of insurance that you can get away with, kind of deal. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. No, I get it. This is just a lot
I know
of
it is.
information.
It's the most annoying. Buying a car or looking for a new car is the most annoying thing that I ever had to do. And I've done it 4 times already. And I know I'm going to do it 16 more times in my lifetime. I, after doing it so many different times, like buying cars personally, as opposed to leasing. So for instance, because you don't know what's going to happen in life. So I leased a car at one point thinking that I wasn't going to be driving a lot. And then I got a job in New York City when I lived so far away from New York City. And
Right.
even just driving, not even driving it fully into New York City, just to Jersey City was a lot of miles to put on my car. So I almost went over my mileage. And when you go over your mileage, you have to pay for each and every mile that you're over. I think it's like 10 cents a mile or something like that, depending on your lease, which
Right.
doesn't sound like a lot when I'm saying it right now, but it adds up when you're going thousands of miles over and you have to
Right.
pay that up front. You're like, okay, so I went 5,000 miles over, here's a check for $600 or whatever it is. On top of if anything was wrong with your car, dented, scratched, anything like that. There's just like a lot of little things. Like if you fuck up the inside of the car, you have to fix that before you turn it back in. That's also stuff that you can negotiate when you're rolling over into a new lease. You can kind of work some magic sometimes, but it's just a hassle and it's annoying. When it's your car, it's like, okay, I have some scratches on my car right now that I'm like, all right, it's a car. It's supposed to get scratched. I'm not crying over it because I don't need to pay for it to get fixed right now. Whenever I have the money to pay for it, I will. But it's not the end of the world because it's my car. I'm
Right.
not turning it in 2 years. You know what I'm saying? And also,
I mean, it would.
I can
Sorry.
drive it as much as I want. It doesn't matter. It's my car. I could drive it across country 6,000 times if I want to. It doesn't matter. I could do
Right.
whatever I want with it. And at the end, like you said, it's my car. I own it. And if at any point I decide I don't want it anymore, I sell it. And when I sell it, I pay off my loan with what I got. And then I'm good.
Sell it on Carvana.
No, because that place sucks. I found the perfect, because what I wanted was a yellow Beetle convertible. That was what I wanted. And I found the perfect one on Carvana. And I was like, I'm going to go with this. And then once I looked it up, I was like, oh my God, this sounds miserable. I'm not doing that. And that's when I ended up with my light blue one from a dealership instead.
Right.
The most annoying part about a car, though, is going to the actual dealership and talking to these people because all they want to do is fuck you.
Well, that's the thing is, so my dad told me that the most important thing is you're negotiating the price of the car. You don't want to
Yes.
negotiate your payments.
Nope, don't
Right?
negotiate
Also-
the payment because that doesn't matter. They'll make the payment any
Right.
way they can, but you still in the end end up paying what the car was that they wanted. You have to negotiate
Right.
the actual price of the car.
So that I didn't know, which was interesting. And then
Also, right now is a good time to buy a car because interest rates for loans right now are nothing.
yeah, the interest rate on the loan. So basically, this Hyundai that I was looking at, I had put the reservation on it, and I paid the $100, and they just emailed me and said it's available. So now, for the next 48 hours, or however many hours it's been, like 45 hours, if I want this car, it's mine.
Don't you
So I
get
have to
drive it for, like,
decide.
a week though, like with Carvana? Like you can drive it for
Yeah,
a week and then
but
you can return it or something like that?
I
That's
don't
weird
think the
part about it.
return. I don't think the return. I don't think it's fully refundable. Like I think you
that's-
lose out on like shipping and
Yes.
processing fees and.
That's their big issue. And that was what I was looking into where I was like, oh, this could be a really cool idea. I could drive it around for a week. And if I hate it, I bring it back. But that's the
Yeah,
problem is that
no.
they won't take it back and they won't give you your money and shit.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, if I lease, my other thing is like I like to have the newest, the latest and greatest technology, right? I'm like a technology person.
Jake Bird.
So I'm not one to like keep an iPhone for 10 years, right? Some people are like that. So that's what I'm thinking with the car is if I buy this car that's a 2018 and then I pay it off in 6 years and then it'll be 8 years old by then I'm not going to want it after 8 years.
Well, that's the thing. You also don't, you negotiate a loan term that's shorter than that. My loan term, I think, is 4 years.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, because in 4 years, I probably won't want it anymore, but it will still be totally great and in perfect condition to have 40,000 miles on it. Like in 4 years, I'm not going to put 100,000 miles on it. It's still going to be totally fine to sell to somebody else.
Yeah.
Or I keep it and I run it into the ground, whichever way I want.
Right.
That's the thing. I have options though, because I bought it. If I leased it, it goes back to them or I buy it. So I've done it that way too, where I've leased a car and then bought it outright after I leased it.
And then you end up spending more money.
Not necessarily. If you do it right, you're not spending more money, but I realized I didn't want that car anymore because then I moved to California and I was like, I don't need an SUV. So like, why would I even, it's always, this is the thing. So
How'd you sell it?
everything's got like its ups and downs. So, or no. I was going to outright buy that one and I decided not to. I outright bought my Toyota. And then when I outright bought my Toyota, it was totaled by a deer.
What?
Yeah. So I actually hated that car so much. So I was happy that that happened and that I was safe and everything worked out really well. But I was on a highway and a deer jumped out of nowhere as I was doing 60 miles an hour and I slammed into it. I'm telling you, it is the scariest moment of your life. You feel like you hit a brick wall because they're just this massive, they're muscle. Like they don't
When was
look like
this?
a lot, but they're muscle. I was in college or had just graduated college, I think. One or the
That's
other.
scary.
And I just slammed right into it and it totaled my whole car.
Oh.
I bought it outright. I think I'm pretty positive I had like one more year to pay and I would have paid it off and it would have been mine and I would have just drove it forever, even though I hated it. But the deer
Right.
jumped out and totaled it. So I ended up getting money from insurance, paying it off, having it, whatever, and then getting a new car. And I leased another car. But like I said, so leasing works in the sense that you don't ever know what's going to happen. So I had leased an SUV and in New Jersey, an SUV is fantastic. In California, you don't fucking need an SUV. It never fucking rains. There's absolutely no snow in LA. So like there's
Right.
having an SUV. Also, all the parking spots are the size of freaking Tonka trucks, like the little tiny
Tonka
ones.
trunks.
like the teeny tiny like NASCAR ones.
Yes.
Like they're so small. So like if I had an SUV, I would never fit into anything. So it worked out well that I had leased it because when my lease is up, I just turned it back in. I was like, I don't want this anymore. And then I bought
Yeah,
my
see, that's what I want. That's why I want the lease also, because I can get a nicer over a long period of time. It'll cost me more money, but I can get a nicer car for lower monthly payments if I lease.
You just don't get anything in the end. You're paying, and it's like rent.
Right.
So it just depends on the person and your situation, honestly, and what you're willing to do. Also, don't you dare put down more than $1,000. You should only put $1,000 down.
For a lease?
Yes.
Why?
Negotiate with them and negotiate and negotiate and negotiate until that number comes down with only putting $1,000 down. Because you're not going to
See, that's it.
So you're
right,
paying
that's
$2,000,
like
and then over the course of 3 years or 2 years or however
right.
long
It just
it's gonna
goes
be,
in the
you're
trash.
you're paying thousands of dollars for a car that you don't get. So you should either put zero down or max out at 1,000, and that's it. Because if you pay 1,000, it's like, all right, like that's not the absolute end of the world.
With the with buying a used car, I was like ready to go negotiate. Like I had it down, right? I've like watched so many things of like how to do it and like whatever. And with leasing a car, you don't have as much leeway with the financing because you only have one option. You have to finance it through the dealer.
Yeah.
So it's more difficult. And I'm like, but then my dad also told me that you can negotiate. One of his friends negotiated completely through email. They didn't go into the dealer at all.
Oh.
So I was like, maybe I should try that. So I think the way to do it is find the car that I want to lease, figure out the price that I want to pay for the car, like what would be a reasonable price that's whatever, and look it up, and then do the whole thing over email, and then just go get the car.
Try it. I'm curious to
Because
see how
I don't want to spend a week. I mean, I don't want to spend a whole freaking day in a car dealer.
Oh, that's the thing. It's an entire fucking day wasted.
No.
Going back and forth and doing credit checks and all sorts of shit. It's so annoying.
Yeah, no.
I put it off for so long in Cali because I just genuinely didn't want to do it. And I was doing it by myself. And I'm a female, and they try to screw females even more than they try to screw the males. And I was
You're like a
just
young
not
looking
having it.
female.
I wasn't having it though.
Did you get a good deal?
Yeah, I got a really good deal on my car. You got to lie to them, just like they lie to you.
Well, the way to do it apparently is don't tell them anything. So when they're like, "Do you want to lease or buy?" Not sure. Do you know how you're going to finance? Not sure yet. You don't tell them anything because and then also I watched something. I found a good TikTok video from some woman who sells cars. She said, "Don't talk. Don't like make conversation during the test drive because they use that time as an opportunity to find stuff out about you and how much money you're making and like how much they can get out of you." They're like, "What do you do for a living? Where do you live? Do you live alone? Blah, blah, blah." Like they use all that time to figure out about you.
So the
I'm
thing
like,
is
this
with
is
me
great.
and the Beetle that I wanted, I knew exactly what it was that I wanted. I knew exactly what car it was and exactly what I wanted to pay. So when I went in there, I was like, the blue Volkswagen Beetle, I want to drive it. They said, "Okay." I drove it. And then I was like talking to them about what I wanted to pay. And I just lied to them. I was like, "Oh, I found the exact same Beetle downtown LA for $13,000. They wanted $18,000 for theirs." So I just
Wait,
said
what'd you end up paying?
14 something.
Wow.
I just lied to them.
You got them down $4,000?
I lied to them. I literally told them, I think it was like, yeah, it was something around there because I just was like, "Oh, I found this exact same one with like 10,000 more miles on it downtown LA, and they're going to give me this price." And they were like, "Wait, really?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can find it online." They don't fucking look.
What?
They don't look. They don't care. They go, "Okay, let me talk to my boss." They didn't look at anything. They were just like, "Okay." You see Carla Marie in the background.
I remember something.
Okay.
I learned that Ricky is very easygoing. Like literally the best road trip partner.
Oh, I was
Wow,
expecting
that's so
anything.
nice.
I'll think of something mean in a little bit. I need like 20 minutes. No, but literally be like, "Hey Ricky, we're gonna do this. Like, what do you want to do?" "Don't care." And it was like, well, I guess sometimes it was bad because like I needed help making a decision. But
Right.
like I am so type A that I probably would have been freaking out if I was in her position. But we really didn't know what the hell we were doing at all anyway. So yeah, Ricky was like the best road trip partner.
See, that's interesting because I feel like it would make it more stressful sometimes to have somebody that just can't make a decision. But if you like making the decisions, then that's amazing.
Yeah, that's probably why it worked so well.
Exactly.
Also, though,
right?
I will say that she's fucking crazy because her and Anthony think that Twizzlers Pull and Peel are better than regular Twizzlers.
They are better.
Oh my
Take a
god! No one
There's no argument.
no one else.
There's no argument there.
They're gross. We also learned that they're different flavors. Pull and peel are cherry. Regular Twizzlers are strawberry.
Mhm.
Strawberry. I did know that.
Yeah. I'll think of
I'm
something
just a
else
genius.
that's rude. Give me a few minutes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
I was not expecting it to be something nice by any means.
That was
I'm
nice.
impressed.
No, so that car conversation went way longer than we wanted, but I hope that will actually be helpful to somebody because I learned a lot just from this convo and from doing my research. And I don't want to see any of our listeners getting fucked over when they buy a car. So hopefully
Agreed.
you listen to this.
And people get screwed over constantly. So yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We have one
It's
last one
time.
to get to, and then then I gotta go because mom's making me dinner downstairs.
Mom,
Mama Marie
It-
2.0.
is time.
Choo choo.
It's time for the Hot
Chugga,
Mess
chugga, chugga,
Express.
chugga, chugga, choo choo.
Eventually, we'll have a real intro.
And it won't be my
But for
annoying,
now-
obnoxious voice.
This is Ricky. How this works, if you're just listening for the first time, you send us on Instagram at 20 SDN podcast.
Okay, yep, there we go. I was like, what are you doing?
At 20 SDN podcast on Instagram, you send us your hot mess story. We will choose one each week to read and pick the conductor of the Hot Mess Express. If you become the conductor, you hold that title until another story beats you.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, for our inaugural
Wow, that was a rough word for you to say, wasn't it?
Hot Mess Express story comes from somebody who doesn't want us to use their name for some reason. It's really
get
not
it.
a bad story. I don't get it.
I get it. You don't want anybody to think that you were the dum-dum that did this.
We'll call this person Tina.
Okay. What a name to pick. I was going to say Sam.
That's my landlord's name.
Tina?
One time I was so exhausted and overslept for work. As I was getting ready, I accidentally put hand soap on my toothbrush. Gingerbread soap is not as appetizing as it smells.
Out of all soaps, I would assume the gingerbread one wouldn't be as bad because it's gingerbread flavor.
It was probably one of those Bath and Body Works ones that just smells so beyond strong, and it probably tasted like asshole.
Oh, it had to be. It had to be the worst taste ever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tina, that happened to you, but that's pretty hot mess.
So, Tina, since you are our first and only, you are the first official conductor of the Hot Mess Express.
Choo choo!
And you will hold.
Do the steam, but I can't.
Psh. You will hold that title until somebody sends us a story that beats it. And in the meantime, you are the conductor.
This is so exciting. I'm not the conductor right now, and I love that because I'm always the
And that's
conductor of
it.
the Hot Mess Express.
Yep. And now you're not. It's time for our shameless plugs.
Oh, yes. Go ahead. Run it down.
Okay, so if you have any info on where I should buy a car or what car I should buy or anything having to do with cars, please text us at 201-588-5139, or you can always find us on any social media at 20SDN Podcast.
And don't forget to share with your friends. Make them listen.
And don't forget, thank you very much for sending us to your friends because we need it. Because otherwise, we're just going to keep getting weird fucking movies trying to send us free movies in exchange for advertisements.
And we need legit advertisers because I don't have a job. So
We need
help
to
your
pay
girl
Ricky so that she can continue living and doing nothing.
out. Yeah, doing nothing and taking random road trips with my friends and shit.
And that's it. I guess we'll talk to you next week when you'll still be in Seattle.
Not, I guess. We will talk to you next week. And maybe I'll be in Seattle. Maybe I'll be somewhere else. Who the hell knows?
Hopefully you
Stay tuned to find
just
out.
continue this life of whatever you're doing.
Just become a nomad and just travel everywhere.
Oh, I wish I could join you.
I know. That actually sounds amazing.
That's why you need to share this with your friends so we can live our fucking life.
Live our dreams out.
Oh, our dreams rely on you sharing this episode.
Why are you saying it like that? It's so mean.
Because I'm
sounding.
angry.
Why? You have a beer
Because
and
I
you're
just-
happy because you're talking to me. You are not angry. Stop lying to
No, I
people.
don't have a beer.
You drank it already?
Yeah.
Jesus, Jakeford.
All right, I have to go.
Okay, bye.
Love you lots.
I guess I love you too, I think. Maybe some days. Today I do. Okay, bye.